Hey everyone. So there was some interest about PhantomWP yesterday on the group, and I thought I'd share a video in which I explain how everything works in more detail. So when you set up a project, this is what you get. I modified this a bit, but you get a site, you get the code, and all of this resides on a GitHub repository. You connect your GitHub account, and the repository is in your own account. Also, you can connect a Vercel account and connect it so you can make the deployments from your GitHub account to your Vercel account. So what I wanted to outline is that you own everything. So what someone asked yesterday is if a cookie consent plugin works. And I said we could use the AI assistant to generate one. So let's see if that works. So we should open the AI assistant and let's tell it to generate a consent banner. When accepted, it should load Google Analytics. Remember the user's choice in a cookie. I think that should do is make sure it looks modern. Okay, now it gets to work. We can see it creates a new component here in the components folder. It's called cookie consent.astro. So while it works, maybe I should show you a bit more about the interface. So here we have the save icon. Here we can open the preview site in a new window. So this works with auto reload. When we make changes or the AI makes changes, we can see the changes update here in real time. This is native auto reload. Here we can show or hide the code editor. Here we can show or hide the preview. This is a cool feature, but I will show you after the AI is done. Here we have the media manager. We can see the images we got from WordPress, and we can upload our own images. With the images here, Astro will optimize them in a really cool way, so we have very high page speed scores. Here we can create the design token, we can change themes, or we can change the colors that are used around on our site. This is the WordPress REST API setup. So here we can see what is imported from the WordPress REST API. Here we have an option to generate a search index. So if you want, for example, case studies or posts to be searchable. And also we have an advanced settings here. If we want to take WordPress offline, we can send a custom header to WordPress, so we only allow requests that have this header set. So not any other requests are allowed to the WordPress site for security. And we also have an auto deploy webhook that we can add in WordPress when we make changes, and we'll redeploy the site. Think of this as a webhook that clears the cache on your old WordPress sites. Okay, so it seems the AI started working. Now we can see the cookie consent here. Let's see it here. So we see we value our privacy, we use cookies, and then we can click accept all, and I think it stored our okay. And now let's see what it said. It also integrated Google Analytics. Let's see what it does when you click cookie settings, essential cookies, analytics cookies, save settings. So as you can see, the AI created all of this. And here in the cookie consent that Astro, we can see we can enter our Google Analytics code, and we have Google Analytics with a cookie consent policy banner. So this is how the AI works. It did it. So it even added the cookie consent probably to the base layout here. So it loads on every page, and it remembers the cookie settings in the yeah, it remembers what the user selected in the cookies. So let's close the AI assistant. And I told you this is really cool. So this is a tree view of our page. As you can see here, we have the hero components, services, case studies, and here we can move stuff around. For example, drag and drop, and this will modify the code. So if you look here, we move the CTA section above the hero. We can delete an element, for example. Yeah, this probably is a small bug. I'll have to look into that. But yes, we could move elements here, or we can move elements around here. This is just code that renders native components. And when you go, for example, to look at the component, so let's say CTA section, this is a component that you can render everywhere, and you can inject properties into it. So for example, we can inject a custom title. Let's go to the index page. So now if you go to the CTA section, we can say title equals welcome, and we save. And now we updated the component property title. If we delete it, section, if we delete it, it will default to the default set in the component. We also have autocomplete for components. So here, for example, you can add another CTA section and save, and see we have two now. So we can have one with a title. How do you do? And if we save, we see the update, and then here another title. Good. So this is how the components work. And when we are done with the changes, we hit the commit button. Here we see the modified pages, and we enter a commit message. Let's say added cookie consent banner. And now if commit and push, the changes will be deployed to the GitHub repository. The Vercel will see that we have a new deployment to master, and will deploy the site live. So here we can see the deployment status to Vercel. We can see now it's building. And then when it's done, we're going to be able to open the site live. So if we have a domain, we'll see the changes on the domain. So if you want to roll back changes, or if something went wrong, it will be really easy, because you can always switch to a earlier deployment. So yeah, that's the gist of it. There are more features, but these are the more important ones. We have a data section here where we can add data from the WordPress site depending on what it's loaded. Also here we have a status of the services that run. This is the npm run start. If you work with that, we can restart the services here, and then here we can open the GitHub repository, we can open the code space, open it in VS Code. So this is all on your GitHub account, so you'll have access at any time. So let me know if you have any questions. This is PhantomWP. Thank you.